Hari Om. Welcome to our next Bhagavad Gita video lesson. It's always good to start with a slow, deep breath. We've talked about Dhritarashtra, the blind king. We can consider him to be Manas, the lower mind. And we also talked about Sanjaya, his minister, who he said could be considered our conscience. And the king is blind, but he's not deaf. And he does ask Sanjaya for his input in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita. It's always a good sign, I think maybe a rare sign, when the lower mind asks the conscience for input. But the problem is that upon receiving the input, he either ignores it or distorts it, which I think is not unusual. But we can't completely blame the blind king for this. I don't mean to be misogynistic, but I think we have to also put some of the blame on his wife, Gandhari. When they were going to look for a wife for the blind king, not that many princesses in the neighboring kingdoms were that interested in marrying a blind man. But Gandhari was okay with it, but she did something unusual. She blindfolded herself so she wouldn't have any advantage over her husband. So Gandhari has the capacity to see, but marries the blind king and loses her sight. And Gandhari could be considered our buddhi, our inner intelligence. And the buddhi can go in one of two directions, maybe more than that, but let's keep it simple. If Gandhari marries the blind king, then I think four things happen. Let's see if I can memorize them. One is that it comes up with intelligent arguments to rationalize why it's preferable to stay in darkness. Two, our consciousness is moved outward. Three, we move out of the present moment. And four, our intelligence is used to sabotage our spiritual journey. We shoot ourselves in the foot. I was working this week on, I'm working on this book, the Bhagavad Gita book, and I was on the 18th chapter, the 31st verse, and I will read it to you. The intellect, that's the buddhi, the intellect that has a distorted and confused understanding of dharma and adharma, what's good for the soul and what puts more obstacles to the soul. And therefore, Arjuna, often errors in deciding what to do and what not to do, that buddhi is rajasic, or restless, or clouded. And the interesting thing that happened to me was, while I was working in this verse, I heard the ping that I got an email. And I normally wouldn't interrupt this work, but I saw the name of the person, and I said, I would like to see what's happening. So I checked the email, and the person was saying I could have done something better, and gave me some advice about how to do that. And my mind really got worked up. My vrittis were flying all over the place. And I thought of, I don't know if really thought, but I felt two options. Either I ignore this person because they don't know what they're talking about, or I educate the person to help them realize they don't know what they're talking about. But I can see I was unsettled, and then I went back to my Bhagavad Gita study, and I realized I just got this amazing lesson from the Guru or the universe about how easy it is for my buddhi to veer towards rajas. I didn't know what to do, what was dharma, adharma. I love how the universe immediately gave me that lesson. So I'll read you my homework assignment that I gave myself for this week. Feel free to join me with this. I read it slowly. Can I recognize when a situation arises where my samskaras, with their preconceived notions and strong likes and dislikes, are clouding my judgment, pushing me to do stuff that I may regret later. So I'm going to keep an eye out for that, how the buddhi gets clouded. Please feel free to join me. And thank you for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you next week. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.